Today is run 34, the final run of the Couch to 5K. It has been a long, hard road, and this run was no different. I feel like 80% of my runs have felt like my hardest run. There is no shortcuts, there is no easy runs in this program, perhaps in like the first 2-3 weeks. After that, you're being pushed to your limits almost every run, and that's necessary for progress. So as I said, I felt very slow and sluggish off the back of 3.5 months of running, and this is the final run of the program. In the program, I believe there's 27 runs, 3 runs a week for 9 weeks straight. I've obviously done 34 runs, which is more than that. And I've explained previously how I've repeated runs and also gone off track and tried my own thing, done a bit of trial and error. But it was all going to lead back to the Couch to 5K, and this being the final run of the program, it was just a case of me getting over the line and finishing exactly what I started. So in this run, I treated it just like any other run, a straight run for 30 minutes. I treated this like any ordinary run. I did all the same habits. My warm-up stayed exactly the same. I did my warm-up walk. My stretches were the same, and my run wasn't exactly the same, but the premise was the same. The only difference is I hit a PR. When I first started running, back in run 1 in the first week, I set a goal for myself. I can't remember exactly when I set it, but the mission was to run 5K within 40 minutes, and I was able to do it in 38.5 minutes, being 38 and 30 seconds. And you know what's interesting? I had no intention of setting a PR or trying to beat my previous best, which was 2 runs ago, if I'm counting this one, being my 32nd run, in which I ran in around 39 minutes and 40 seconds, which I rounded up to 40 minutes. Anyway, but you get the point. I never set the intention of setting a PR and running my fastest ever 5K I've ever run ever. I never set the intention of doing that. I just set the intention of finishing exactly what I started, which was the Couch to 5K program. I had no idea I was gonna go on this run and run my fastest 5K ever so far. But that's exactly what I did. On this run, I kept everything the same, just as normal. I have my own routine in which I warm up and walk, which I've already said, and I went on this run and I felt super slow and sluggish, and this would have been probably more down to the built-up fatigue and the consistent running for 3 to 4 months, as I've mentioned previously in the past 2 runs. And this definitely played a factor, not to mention my legs were super heavy. And I think overall, it was more of like a general fatigue and exhaustion, having run consistently for so long, that it will take its toll on you, and you may not realize it at first. But when you try and do some things over and over again consistently, your body will definitely feel it at some point. And I think at this stage of my sort of running journey, I'm really starting to feel it now. And this was going to be my final run before having a short break away from running. And just taking the chance to recover and rest up. So as I mentioned, I felt very slow and sluggish off the back of consistently running for that amount of time. I had no thoughts in my mind that I was going to hit a PR. My mission was just to get through the run, and just get through the run I did. For about the first 3 to 4 kilometers, I was ticking along very slowly and just running and just trying to keep moving at all times. And when I got to the 4-kilometer mark, I just checked my phone. I'm not sure why I even checked my phone. I think I was just checking to see how long I had left. And when I went to check the stats on my phone, I had seen that I had run 4 kilometers in just 30 minutes. So I was on course to beat my best ever time, which was 40 minutes. And I think my average pace was about 7 or 8 minutes per kilometer, somewhere in between there. So every kilometer, I was running in around 7 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm not sure what that equates to, but essentially what that means is I ran 4K in 30 minutes, and that was essentially the end of my run. but I felt really good. I was in such a flow state, I decided to continue running because I didn't feel super tired. Yes, I felt a bit slow and sluggish, but that kind of feeling wore off as I got into the rhythm of running and got into that kind of flow state. As the run started to progress, I didn't really have those thoughts of feeling slow and sluggish anymore. I kind of just got on with it. And got on with it, I did. When I was in this flow state, I just felt like I was running kind of like how people run in a marathon. I'm guessing when you're in such a flow state, you don't really have many thoughts going through your head. Like those thoughts of feeling slow and sluggish, you kind of just get on with it and see it through all the way to the end. And that's exactly what I did. And when I checked my phone and it said 4 kilometers in 30 minutes, I wasn't too tired at this point. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm on course to beat my fastest ever 5K time. So I decided to continue running, even though the run was technically over and the program was like, okay, now's your chance to cool down. I decided to keep running anyway. And as I kept running, I was like, I've still got a bit of energy left. I'm just going to see this through to the end and just see what can happen. I've got 1 kilometer to go until I reach 5K. 30 minutes have been on the clock. My personal best is around 40 minutes. I've got 10 minutes to run 1 kilometer. I think I can do that quicker than in 10 minutes. I think I can run 1 kilometer in 10 minutes, and I can definitely do it quicker than 10 minutes. And I managed to do it in around 8.5, which is why I hit the PR 38.5 minutes. And I absolutely pushed myself completely to the max, and I ended up doing it. I beat my PR and I ran 5K in 38.5 minutes, which is my fastest ever time I've ever done in my life. And the takeaway I want you to have from this video would be, never give up. I felt super slow and sluggish, but that was my own perception of me. Had I have had a more positive outlook, more of the mindset of, oh, I'm still moving forward, putting one step in front of the other. I'm still moving forward. I'm still active. I'm still here. And I'm not super tired. Had I ever had that mindset, I perhaps wouldn't have felt as slow, sluggish as I did, because this was one of my fastest ever. This was one of my fastest ever 5K runs. And to more experienced runners, hearing 38 minutes being someone's fastest 5K may seem super slow, but that's really good for where I am today. Perhaps maybe 6 to 12 months from now, I'll be even better at running and perhaps be able to run even faster. But as of today, this is the best I have done in this very moment. And I believe I achieved this about a week before Christmas. And this was one of my best ever runs I've ever done. And this was all down to my persistence. And I think that was the reason for me hitting a PB of 38.5 minutes, because I never let up at any time, despite these feelings of being slow and exhausted. Not exhausted, but sluggish. I was able to see it through to the end, and I had the awareness to say, I've got 4 kilometers on the clock, and I've run for 30 minutes. I think I can do another kilometer. Even though the run was over, I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot and just keep running. And I was able to do it in 38.5 minutes. And that was one of the best feelings ever, because I pushed super hard, and I was like, you know what, I can beat my time I set 2 runs ago, and I absolutely did. I think I beat it by about a minute at least, which is a massive improvement in cases of running, because as you get more experienced, it's very hard to make further progress. But as you're a beginner, it's super easy to make bigger leaps of progress, as you've got a lot longer way to go in your own journey. So that's where I leave you today. My name is Prem, and that has been my Couch to 5K journey. I want to thank you for following along if you've watched any of the videos, and just say I'm incredibly grateful for anyone. I'm incredibly grateful for anyone who's watched and shown support and appreciated the content I've been putting out there. And I just want to say thank you. And with that, that has been my Couch to 5K journey. And I'll see you